Is Jayden Knott going to be available? Brent Venables says he's close to 100%. That is big for the Oklahoma Sooners.
You are Locked On Sooners, your daily podcast on the Oklahoma Sooners. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's up, Sooner Nation? Welcome to Locked On Sooners, and thank you for making Locked On Sooners your first listen every single day. Shout out to all the everydayers out there. Tune in and subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts. We're part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. This episode is brought to you by Monarch Money. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONCollege at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com. He's Jay Smith of Unfair Sports. Go check out his channel, Unfair Sports, for more college football and Oklahoma Sooners coverage. I'm John Williams. You can read my work covering the Sooners over at SoonersWire.com. And on today's show, the Oklahoma Sooners got that first OK prep commitment for the 2026 recruiting class. Better late than never, right, Jay? We'll discuss that in the third segment. In segment 2, we had a lot of polls and power rankings come out on Tuesday. We'll dive into what that means for the Oklahoma Sooners. But let's start with this, Jay. What did you make of what Brent Venables had to say about Jayden Knott and what Ben Arbuckle even had to say about Jayden Knott? Venables said he's close to 100% ready. Ben Arbuckle says he's in a good headspace right now.
Yeah, he's been dealing with that injury. So, that shoulder thing, it can make players nervous about going back out there. He dealt with that ankle situation all last season. And he even said it himself that, I probably should have set out some games. And I would have probably been a lot better off if I would have done that, because he was supposed to leave, as a junior and go to the NFL draft. He was very highly touted after. And so since he decided to play on that bad ankle, his numbers really suffered from it. So he could be in a situation where he's like, I better make sure I should be closer to 100% before I go out there. Well, sounds like he is there. And Ben Arbuckle saying that, he's in a better headspace. Brent Venables has emphasized a couple of times over the last few days, we talked about it like crazy yesterday, that he's ready. Like, he's going to go out there and he's going to play. And so, with him being close to 100%, I'm excited. Now we get to see him be unleashed for the fans to enjoy his athleticism and his explosive capabilities. If he can do it, because we saw Torrey Blaylock give us some, and if we open enough holes to where I can buzz through and go, man, Oklahoma going to be a problem.
Can I take a reserved approach to
Absolutely not. No. No. Again, we are living and we're laughing and we're loving like Skeletor. What are you doing here, John?
In a world in which the 2024 season happened to the Oklahoma Sooners, and 1 week after another, we're sitting here on this show and we're talking about this wide receiver is about to be back, this other wide receiver is about to come back. Just wait until we get 2 of our starting wide receivers back, and it never materialized. I think I'm just gonna kind of take a wait and see approach. If he's back, great. I can't wait to see Jayden Knott on the football field for the Oklahoma Sooners. I hope it's this week against Michigan, because they could certainly use him. I'm not going to put the cart before the horse. I'm not going to put the schooner before the ponies in this discussion, because if he's close to 100%, does that mean they're going to play him? Does that mean he's going to fight through whatever he might be dealing with in that shoulder to go ahead and run out there? I imagine he would. Football players want to play, and he's got that football player mentality. Also a little bit Polynesian descent, so he's also a little bit crazy too. So he's going to fight through some stuff to go play for his team. I'm just not going to put the schooner before the ponies, Jay.
I'm totally pushing you in the water, John. You ain't got no choice. What are we doing here? Look, I understand the mentality of being the contrarian and wanting to be reserved, and you are totally being a contrarian right now, John. You know it. You know your emotions are there. I can see the twinkle in your eye, John. What are we doing here? The eyes of your eyes are twinkling right now. You don't have the eyes of Texas going, but your eyes are definitely twinkling right now. You feel it in your bones. That this is not the same situation as last year. But no, you're right. I totally agree. It's not the
same situation.
I take the same approach of I believe it when I see him take his first snap with the handoff. Granted, he took 4 snaps last game, and it was more so because we dealt with a whole bunch of other players hurt. So, John, let me say this. If he walks out there on the kick return, will you believe he's going to take a handoff after that?
No.
Why not?
Don't put him out there on the kick return team at all. I don't want him on kick return duties.
But he's really good at it.
I don't need him out there for that.
But he's really good at it, though.
How often is he going to actually return a kick?
I mean, Satania is most likely going to return most of them, but he's good at it. Why not?
Satania, let me have Zion Kearney. Avoid putting extra contact on Jayden Knott.
So you don't want him to be like DeMarco Murray? You don't want to see him jump over somebody and run it for a touchdown?
If he was 100% healthy going into the season, yes, I would 100% be on board with this.
Fair. I will give you that. You're right. But I do think he's going to play.
If my dude wasn't out there trying to truck some third string linebacker on a kick return, I'd feel differently about it if he didn't have a banged up AC joint.
Yeah, I mean, he likes hitting people. That's kind of like his thing. He's a pretty physical back, which we like, and he's put on weight to help with that. So we'll get to that point. So, okay. All right, John.
Moving on from that.
Let's move on to this.
What else stood out to you from BV's presser on Tuesday?
So now I'm going to talk about BVs. Let's talk about Ben Arbuckle on this one.
That way.
Because they asked him and talked to him about Kevin Wilson's influence to him being out there. And it's funny because not only did he say that Kevin Wilson has been, like, I guess you could say, for lack of better terms, a mentor, that Kevin Wilson's even basically said that the kid's just smart, that he's good. He's going to be real good. And so I like the fact that we're seeing Kevin Wilson be a part of it, because the years of great offenses we had, Kevin Wilson were a part of that at the beginning. And all he's doing is letting them know, hey, look at it this way, look at that way. And he said he's challenging him, and Ben actually enjoys that. So I appreciate the fact that we got Kevin Wilson out there, because I think that's going to help not only what Ben's going to be doing in play calling, because he said that he'll fist bump him and say, good play. That was a great play, or something like that. It's like the funny old man things. Mm-hmm. But even with Bill Beatonbow and them two working together on an offensive line, it just gives you that additional set of eyes. So I think that he's going to end up being an X factor for this team.
No, absolutely he will. That experience is invaluable for this team. I felt like it was interesting that Brent Venables comped Bryce Underwood to Trevor Lawrence.
Hoo-wee. I'm so glad. I hate that he said that, because it's frightening. While at the same time, John, in the second game that Trevor Lawrence played in, he only completed like 50% of his passes against Texas A&M. Now, they won the game, it was because of Kelly Bryant, but Trevor Lawrence also did not play super great. So if it's going to be, Bryce Underwood being kind of bad his second game against us, I'm totally here for that. Because I think Bryce is going to be good long term, but I would like him to not be good in this game.
If he comes into Norman and he sets the world on fire game 2, I mean, we're looking at a future first overall pick in the NFL draft, a future Heisman winner, that kind of thing. If he is serviceable and keeps Michigan in the game and gives them a chance to win, that's more than enough from a true freshman quarterback on the road against the Brent Venables defense. If you're relying on him to go throw for 3 bills and 3 touchdowns this Saturday night, that's a bad game plan for Michigan. Anything else stand out to you from the pressers, whether it's Brent Venables or Ben Arbuckle?
I do like that BV kind of focused on Gentry Williams as well. Talked about how he was a wonderful leader, and how he was able to overcome and have that positive energy and wisdom. And one of the team's best leaders mainly is kind of what he was saying, because Gentry was going through so much and trying to get back. And instead of him kind of being like some of the other players, going ahead and hitting the portal and bouncing out and looking for a new situation, he's like, nah, I want to play here and I'm going to make it happen. Yeah. And we got to see him hit people. We got to see him tackle somebody in the backfield. So I love the fact that he gave Gentry some love. Of course, he talked about Sherron Moore and how he was, because they were on staff. He was a player when BV was DC, so they have a relationship. Kevin Wilson was the OC when Sherron Moore was there as the offensive lineman. So he got to talk a little bit about that portion of it. But I did like to see the Gentry Williams praise because my Tulsa boy needed that.
Well, I think it goes back to something we've talked about a lot on this show, just the stick-to-itiveness. It pays off. The guys that trust the process. It pays off for him. We're seeing it with Robert Spears Jennings and Grayson Halton and R. Mason Thomas and Kip Lewis and Kobe McKenzie and Gentry Williams. And Brent Venables said he's going to play his best football this season. And I know we're excited to see that. Where is Oklahoma at in all of the polls, the rankings, ratings, power rankings, football power index? So much to discuss. Oklahoma versus the nation. We'll discuss coming up next here on Locked On Sooners.
Mazda crafts cars for those who choose to do more than simply move. They follow what moves them every time they drive. And that's what makes Mazda stand out to everybody. They go beyond safety, style, and performance to deliver a driving experience that feels alive in every detail. They offer more than safety. It's won more than 2025 IIHS top safety picks plus awards than anyone else. And that was as of this month, which is awesome. You can feel it in the moment you get behind the wheel, the smooth handling, intuitive controls, and standard all-wheel drive in every crossover SUV. It's the small details that make the big plays. And just like that, there's more to every player. There's more to a Mazda vehicle. Mazda, move and be moved.
Hey, Locked On Sooners fans, we have an important request. Locked On wants to hear from you. We've put together a survey to learn more about our listeners and make your favorite podcasts even better. This is your chance to tell us what you like, what you don't, and answer questions about our advertising. Go to lockedonpodcast.com/survey to get started. Everyone who completes the survey will be entered for a chance to win one of 10 $100 Amazon gift cards. Again, that's lockedonpodcast.com/survey. You can also find the link in the bio. Show notes. Thanks for helping us out. And again, thanks for making Locked On Sooners your first listen every single day. Shout out to all the everydayers out there. Tune in and subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts. We're part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. So, Jay, the Oklahoma Sooners entered the USLBM coaches poll, coming in at number 24 in the nation, moving up 2 spots from the others receiving votes category to 24. In the ranking, stayed at number 18 in the AP poll. We're still at 10 in the JP poll, a power rating, not a power ranking. And Stanford Steve had him where? Was it, 13?
Yeah, number 13 on the Stanford Steve top 15, which moves us right above Auburn and Michigan. So the JP poll is interesting, as a lot of people don't understand the rating versus a ranking, because in there, Texas is still above Ohio State, as in that if they were on a neutral site, Texas would still be favored in that game. And granted, I agree, Texas would be favored against Ohio State on a neutral site because both defenses play really good. And Texas, once again, the one thing that rating system, Vegas and all of them don't take in consideration is exactly how a team performs at certain spots on the field. And Texas has like this big wall of kryptonite in front of them at the 1 yard line against a lot of teams, including Oklahoma, where they struggle to be able to score past the one. It's like it's not allowed to. It's like
Arizona State, Ohio State. Yeah, it's terrible.
It's like they just get stopped right when they get there. So, yeah, we kind of figured that was kind of the thing that was going to happen. So, I digress. Us at number 10 on the JP poll, that means that even in the conversations that Josh Pate had with like FanDuel odds makers and stuff, they believe that there's only 9 other teams that would be rated higher than Oklahoma spread wise on the road. Like right now, Oklahoma is still about a 5.5 point favorite. And we'll talk about that with FanDuel a little bit later, but Oklahoma's sitting pretty good in a lot of these games. So I like where we're at. Like, for example, AP poll here. Let's pull this up. We didn't move. We stayed at 18. Everybody else moved around. You saw a little bit of movement to others, but, Texas dropped like they're supposed to. The poll here makes a lot of sense when you look at it. The blowout, yes, makes sense that Alabama falls as far as they did. Mm-hmm. I guess they're going to probably be the one team that's in the top of the AP poll to start the year that's going to be unranked by the end of the season, maybe?
It's certainly a possibility. I'm not going to put it past them. The game looks a whole lot different right now than it did before the season started. I don't know if the Alabama team that we see in November isn't going to be a better team than what we saw against Florida State week 1. I think maybe Florida State might have caught them off guard coming off of a 2-10 season instead of Oklahoma going down to Tuscaloosa fresh off of a 24-3 beatdown in Norman the year before, looking to exact some revenge. I think the motivations might be a little bit different, but I feel like where Oklahoma's at 18 feels reasonable. They still have a lot to prove as a team. A lot of people think maybe they shouldn't even be a top 25 team yet, but that's kind of where things stand right now.
Yeah, it's interesting that you even though they did get blown out, you probably should swap them in Florida State. You probably should make them like 26.
Mm-hmm.
But I get why they are at, they're going to still be ranked. They were ranked very highly to start the year. But that's the one thing I hate about rankings, the rankings coming out so early in the season. I like that, week 4 gives us an idea of who is what. But for Oklahoma, Michigan being ranked where they are, we get this win. We get this dub. This is going to move us up. And I know a lot of y'all fans don't care. Like, why are you talking about rankings? Just go out there and win, blah, blah, blah. It's interesting to see kind of what everybody else's view of us is. And that helps in shaping the narrative and the conversation for us going forward. Like, for example, if John Mateer goes out here, throws for another 300 yards, runs for 100 yards, he's the favorite for the Heisman at that point, right? Even 2 weeks in, right?
Yeah, I would think so, because it would be a marquee performance on a primetime stage against a top 15 opponent 2 years removed from the national championship. Like, all of the key words that you'd want in a Heisman race would sit there before John Mateer. Now he has to go do it. He has to go perform well. Shoot, even if he throws for 225, runs for another 50, has 2 to 3 total touchdowns, Oklahoma wins, that's going to put him even further along in the Heisman race. Because already after week 1, he jumped to the top of the odds sheet in a lot of places. Over at DraftKings, he was number 2. I think at FanDuel, maybe he jumped up to number 1. Like, it shifted big time with just that 392-yard passing performance against Illinois State. So everybody seems to be expecting him to continue to produce at a very high level, or they're trying to grab people's money while the iron is hot. They're trying to strike while the iron is hot, as opposed to waiting for the dip, and then nobody's going to be laying money on him. I don't put me inside the head of a gambler. I can't get there. But Oklahoma is a good football team, and yet it still has a lot to prove. So I can understand the argument, both sides of it. Like, don't rank Oklahoma. They don't deserve to be ranked. It's fine. Go win it, and go prove who you are on the football field. And they will in time.
Yeah.
If they do it this Saturday night, I think everybody will feel really comfortable about where Oklahoma's headed this season.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those. If Oklahoma pulls this off, which right now 5.5 point favorites on FanDuel, I expect us to cover that spread. I think we should win by a touchdown, and it's going to be a grind. It's going to be a lot of hard work. It's going to be some exhaustion. The blessing there is, though, we get a little bit, a slight cupcake next week. Now, Kent State, it was a Temple. We traveled to Temple. Temple looks pretty, the quarterback, that new quarterback they got out there, he played against us last year, but they were out there looking a little coherent. So it's going to be an interesting one in that travel, but at the same time, the good thing is it's opportunity to rest and prepare for Auburn coming to town. So, no, the polls are always intriguing. Like I said, it's intriguing to see where the narratives are around us, and that's what makes them worth talking about. So don't get mad at us. It's totally worth it.
I think what we're seeing in the AP poll this year especially is if you win and you win a big-time game, you're going to get rewarded for it. And if you lose to a team you shouldn't, you're going to get severely punished for it. So we'll see what Oklahoma does this Saturday and where they rank this time next week in the AP and the USLBM coaches poll. Actually, those will come out on Sunday this week, because we don't have Sunday night games and Monday night games. It's Saturdays and we're done. So we'll continue to break all that down. Sometime in October, we get the college football playoff rankings. I want to say it's like end of October. Or
it's end of October. Yeah. It's like 8 weeks 8 weeks in. So yeah.
Yeah. So, and those will be the rankings that matter the most, but they do take into account a lot of what happens the first, half of the season. So every game matters, and how you perform in each game matters as well. So Oklahoma, they broke the ice in the Sooner State in the 2026 recruiting class. Let's talk about their latest commitment coming up next here on Locked On Sooners.
The NFL season is almost here, and FanDuel is making sure you're ready for kickoff with a can't-miss offer. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Like for me, we were just talking about it. Oklahoma coming in as a 5.5-point favorite. To go find a way to get myself some bets in on that one, because that's a pretty good spread, and it's very easy to do within FanDuel. It's quick, easy. It's the best way. And it takes little energy to really get that going. And it makes Sundays even more exciting, and Saturdays, especially on Saturday night. So if you're ready to play, download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com to place your first $5 bet.
So most people, they don't know all of their financial accounts, their subscriptions, all of these things, and they might not even know exactly what they're worth, whether it's 401ks, properties, or investments. And when you don't have the full picture, you can end up leaving money on the table. That's why there is Monarch Money. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or your phone. Monarch is built for people with busy lives. If you put off organizing your finances, Monarch is for you. Monarch does the heavy lifting for you. You can link all your accounts in minutes, see clear data visuals, get smart categorization of your spending, and finally feel in control of your money without ever touching a spreadsheet. My wife and I, we've spent some time on Monarch Money. We've been trying to save and figure out ways that we can save even more, and it helped us kind of rein in some of our spending habits, and it helped us figure out ways that we could save a little bit here and there. And especially with the summertime over and all the traveling done, we're not spending as much on fast food or even gas and things like that, but we were able to see a full picture with Monarch. Maximizing your investments is easy. You can increase your savings, easily review finances with your partner or a financial advisor, and keep a clear view of your financial health. Don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use code LOCKEDONCollege at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's a 50% off first year at monarchmoney.com with code LOCKEDONCollege. Again, thanks for making Locked On Sooners your first listen every single day. Shout out to all the everydayers out there. Tune in and subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts. We're part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Jay, the Oklahoma Sooners broke the Sooner State ice in the 2026 recruiting class, finally getting involved in the OK Preps agenda, landing 3-star wide receiver Xavier Okea. Dang it. I had it before the show. I promise I had it before the show. Okea Felaze. There it is.
Okea Felaze. Yeah.
3-star wide receiver, big time potential. Take it away, Jay.
Yeah, I like his tape.
Okea
Felaze. Exactly. ZZ, we would just say that, right? I like his tape. Large shots. He got the offer. He went to the game this past weekend, got the offer, and basically, a couple days later, went ahead and dropped his commitment. And so you can tell that he was really excited about the idea of coming to Oklahoma. Then you saw Emmett Jones put out the chips or whatnot. And EJ likes receivers like this. This is one that adds to the arsenal of receivers that can be molded into something that could potentially turn into something special. He's 6'4", 6'5"-ish. He's about 200 pounds, so he's already big. He's got size. You can put another 20 pounds on him. He could be a massive threat down the field, across the middle. Like, he plays all of that. Like, I know right now the one player we're ready to see that has transformed their body that we could probably see something out of in the next year or so is Ivan Carrion, who's a big 6'6" wide receiver, roughly 230, that's also got speed and power. ZZ is kind of one of those. When you watch him play at Rejoice, he looks like a man amongst boys. Granted, it's to a ball, but he looks like a great project, someone that could develop into something really special, or just someone that could be consistent. The hardest thing we've dealt with here has been injuries. Now we need Emmett Jones to get one of his current guys developed, which we probably will see this year. But I think that he's one that in like 2 years, everybody will be like, man, that was a steal.
Yeah, Okea Felaze, he's got the potential to develop into something that could be really special. The size is there. The hands are fantastic. You go watch the highlights and he literally just snatches the ball out of the air, like with relative ease. He's catching it above his head, above, back over his right shoulder, back over his left shoulder. Just really, really good hands, natural hands catcher. He also plays cornerback for Rejoice. And again, a guy with natural instincts to break on the football and go make a play. He's going to play wide receiver for Oklahoma. But the fact that he's got those cornerback instincts as well is an intriguing combination for a guy that plays wide receiver, because he's going to be able to understand a little bit more what a cornerback responsibility is going to be, having played the position a little bit. So again, good route runner, good athleticism, good agility, good hands, good size. It's a really strong foundation for a kid like that. Now just has to go and prove it against Oklahoma competition when he gets into spring ball this time next year, or to fall camp next year. Like, that's when the real prove it time comes for a kid like this. But he's got everything that you could hope to have in a developmental wide receiver.
Yeah, he's a basketball player by trade. That's what he played mostly throughout. And then he gave football a chance, 46 catches, 900 yards, 9 touchdowns as a junior. And then, like last Friday, 11 catches, 236 yards, and 3 touchdowns in the season opener. It's kind of stupid if you really think about it. Regardless, I mean, if the talent is there and he's able to do that against a lot of people, then obviously he's going to have a challenge going up, but he's got the build for it. It's not like we're talking about a guy that's 6'4", 170 pounds. We're talking about a dude that's verified per Parker Thune over there at OU Insider and the Rivals team. They probably did the actual measurements at a camp, and he was actually at a Brent Venables camp. So I know OU has their actual measurements. So I'm thinking they are very much sold on him. So, but at 6'4", roughly 200 pounds, that's a good foundation to start with. I think Nick Anderson came in roughly around that size. He got himself to about 220. Even. Right. Yeah, I think he actually was. I think he was more in the 180s. But I mean, he's 6'4", 220 now, and if you've got enough speed and you got the technique down, dog, you could be something special. Remember, Nick was a 3-star as well, and when he was healthy, dude was special. I've heard a whole bunch of national people talking about him. They're wondering when, if he's going to ever get back to being healthy. I haven't heard anything about ZZ having injury issues. Knock on wood. I think we're good to go there.
Yeah. Xavier Okea Felaze I think is one of those players that people are going to write off because of where he plays football, the 3-star rating. But let's go down the offer sheet a little bit. So Oklahoma, TCU, and former Oklahoma Sooner great Malcolm Kelly coming after this kid. That should tell you something. That TCU has developed some really nice wide receivers. They believe that he could become something special at the collegiate level. Arkansas, Boston College, Kansas State, Oklahoma State, Texas State. Don't be sleeping on the Bobcats down there in San Marcos, Tulsa, and Utah. So that's a really intriguing offer list. It's not full of SEC and Big Ten teams, but you've got some high-level Power 4 teams on that list that think that he can make the jump from Rejoice to the collegiate level and go make an impact. So who am I to say that he can't? They believe he's got the mentality, he's got the work ethic, he's got the ability to go and develop into something that can be not just functional, but actually contribute to a college program.
No, I totally agree with you there. That's what you want. And the class is going to be divided up depending on where they need people to play borderline immediately. Like we talked about this before. Jake Krell is one of our bigger commitments. And for us, it's like, hey, you're probably going to play in a 2D next year immediately. We've got a lot of young players in a lot of positions. We're still pretty young, luckily. And the classes we've had over the last few years were pretty solid to where bringing a lot of experience going into, especially next season. 27 is where you're going to start seeing a lot of your final top players really around. And I think that 27 class, because of how full of talent it is, and I believe the staff likes it a lot more in comparison, they're going to go all in that class. And you may see a bunch of money being spent for players that we can hope can play like immediately.
So that's the second wide receiver that Oklahoma's earned a commitment for in the 2026 recruiting class, Daniel Odom being the other one. Okea Felaze, he's the number 8 prospect in the state of Oklahoma. I think that's pretty solid in considering the level of football that he plays. The Raiders are seeing something that goes beyond just a level of competition. So again, excited to see what he does once he gets on campus with Oklahoma and how he's able to continue to develop his game and refine his game, ultimately towards making an impact with the Sooners. That's going to do it for today's episode of Locked On Sooners. Again, thanks you for making Locked On Sooners your first listen every single day. Shout out to all y'all, the everydayers, for hitting the subscribe button, hitting the notification bell to let you know when new episodes drop. It's another big moment on Locked On. College football fans, Locked On and Fire TV present College Football Kickoff, your ultimate college football weekly preview. Drake Toll of Locked On Big 12 leads the conversation along two-time AP Coach of the Year, Gary Patterson, former college star for the UNC Tar Heels, Jesse Holley, and Locked On's local experts. A college football preview only Locked On can do. Catch College Football Kickoff every Thursday throughout the season, only on Fire TV. Go follow Jay at Unfair Sports. Go check out his channel, Unfair Sports, over on YouTube. You can follow me at John9Williams and read my work covering the Sooners over at SoonersWire.com. But until next time, he's Jay Smith. I'm John Williams. We'll talk to you then. Boomer.
Sooner. Oh, yeah. Watch Fire Stick. Watch the college football kickoff. We might be on there soon.
Yep. Excited about Okea Felaze. It's